Small town. Damn, that's you strictly. Small town. Damn, that's you strictly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this just in. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The Yankees await the winner of the Dodgers and the Mets for the World Series. Kansas City Chiefs are the only undefeated team in the NFL, and we are back to give you the real in sports. As always, I am your co-host, Small Town EP, live from Atlanta, joined by Wade Julian, live from New York City. Special guest for the evening. Appreciate you for joining us and tapping in Rios via Julian. You know what I'm saying? I've heard great things. I've heard great things about your sports takes. You're very knowledgeable, so I'm excited to
Yes,
get
sir. Yes,
this
sir.
underway. Julian, how's your day in New York going for you, man?
Good, bro. It's a beautiful day. We had a good football slate today. A lot of good matchups, and I watched C.J. Stroud throw for 86 yards. It's a great day.
Yee.
Man,
Oh
you hate
man.
whoa, yo, the hate off the bat is crazy.
No quotes.
Off the bat is crazy.
Hey man, we do have a Sunday night game that is about to start. Ooh, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams against the Steelers at Acquire Stadium. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I'm used to Heinz Field at this point. Live from Pittsburgh in about 3 minutes, we will get kickoff. June, like I just said, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. What do they need to do to get their first win as a duo in I don't know how many years at this point?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a tough game. Pittsburgh prime time. It's always tough to win in that environment. But when you have like a rejuvenation, um, this fountain of youth calling with the old buddy link up. I mean, you expect great things to come from Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. That's what we saw. Damn near all of our adulthood. Um, I think that if the Jets can find a way to have some consistent run game today, just to alleviate some of that pressure off of the offensive line, having to guard T.J. Watt, the return of Alex Highsmith, it's going to give Aaron Rodgers a little bit more time to get his guys open because we already know, you can't one-on-one Devontae Adams, and it looks like you can't one-on-one Garrett Wilson for the most part. So you're going to have to pick your poison throughout the night. And if they can establish a little bit of a run game, like I said, with their rookie running back Allen and also Brees Hall, they should be able to come out and get a win on the road.
And Rios, I mean, Mike Tomlin spoke about it in a press conference this week. He said, last week I was preparing for Devontae Adams. Now this week I'm preparing for Devontae Adams. Russell Wilson under center this weekend or tonight anyway, in a couple of minutes before kickoff. Are they going to be able to spoil this Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers reunion, Rios?
I mean, I think it's possible. I think the Steelers' defense is very, very good enough to where they can like spoil that reunion with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. I like Joey Porter Jr. I feel like he's going to be matched up with Devontae Adams the majority of the game, so that's going to be a fun matchup to watch too. And also too, I mean, if you look at the Steelers' offense too, I mean, their run game starting to click now. So I
Yeah.
feel as if they're starting to get back to that traditional Steelers football that we've been used to seeing our whole lives. So, and also too, Russ is getting his first nod today. I kind of think the offense might have a new spark with Russell Wilson at their quarterback too. Pickens looked frustrated, so I feel as if Russell Wilson. I think is a better thrower of the football than Justin Fields is. So I feel like we'll see some sort of continuity between the receivers and Russell Wilson. I think a little bit more than we've had with Fields and the other guys.
I think just to your first point, Rios, though, Pittsburgh whoever can establish the run game, it's going to really really help out on either side for the Jets or the Steelers. But for the Steelers, Najee Harris had a great game last week. They haven't necessarily ran the ball amazing or great throughout this season, and Justin Fields was a big part of their running game.
Right.
So we're gonna have to see if Russell Wilson is gonna come out hot, because you imagine Russell Wilson has to have some rust. There's gonna be some first game, shit he has to get through. He's a veteran quarterback that this isn't his, fifth first day of school. He's been here, so I'm not expecting any type of mishaps, but just the general haven't played football speed, in months, it'll get to you. So I'm just interested to see if they're going to be able to sustain a run game without, one of probably their most exciting or electric player on offense.
Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up. Very good point that you bring up. I mean, I just look at if you look at this current core of like the Steelers players right now, right? Like you have Pickens, right? You have Calvin Austin, right? I feel like those guys can stretch the field, right? We know them as guys that can stretch the field, right? I feel as if they've been lacking more explosive plays, right?
Yeah,
So I feel like Russ gives them the best ability to have those explosive plays down the field.
yeah,
I think Fields is a good athlete and all that, but and I just think that as a quarterback, like as a thrower of the football, him making progressions, him making his reads, I think Wilson hasn't beaten that category. So
yeah.
I think the playbook expands with Wilson as well too. Just
Hey, hey, man! Denver paid Wilson damn near 38 million just to go away. He
All
landed in Pittsburgh. He's getting
yo,
his first
bro,
nod.
bro, yo, listen, man,
right.
listen. I don't know
Hey,
what, yo, that whole Broncos Wilson thing was crazy though. The guy, yo, they was hating on him because he had his own office.
Yeah. I mean, he does seem like kind of a prick, but I don't know him. Like, he seems like the good guy. Like, he seems like such a great guy. But then you hear certain things and you're just like, yo, that's so Russell
But
Wilson.
it's like,
I
I
don't know.
like the thing is with quarterbacks, so you gotta have a certain type of persona, a certain
Yeah.
swag to you, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, he just doesn't have that.
he
Like,
like he forces that swag. He tries to like he does too much. He tries to
yeah,
force
he
that
does. I
swag.
mean, listen, he's a Hall of Famer. We know we're not going to debate his Hall of Fame status or
Yeah.
whatever. But three people don't tell the same lie. That's what my mama told me, man. So I believe Sherman, I believe Bobby Wagner, and I believe Marshawn Lynch, man. I believe
There
them.
you go.
Oh man. Whew. Hey, we'll get back to football in 1 second. We got a couple live lookings I want to get into. We're gonna start in the WNBA because Game 5 is totally underway. We are about a minute away from the end of the first quarter, about a minute and a half away from the end of the first quarter. The Lynx are up 15-10. I mean, Ioescu, no points just yet. You got Phoebich and Jones that are on the board for New York, and then Minnesota is just being able to distribute the ball in this first quarter so far very efficiently. June, is this quite possibly the best WNBA finals that we've ever seen?
I'll tell you what, it's definitely the best one and the only one I've ever seen. So it's got to be the best one, bro. Nah, let me stop. Let me stop. Last year, Aces Liberty, it was a really tough series, and I was salty that we didn't get the win there. They're 0 for 6 right now in their finals history. So them getting their first one, I would say that would make it the best one. If they lose this one, I ain't talking best nothing. I ain't no Minnesota Lynx fan. But To your sentiment, yes. I think the excitement we've had, the back and forth. I told my uncle we were watching game 2, and I said, man, that next game, whoever wins game 3, I think takes that series. Just it's one of those like game 5, pivotal swings in the series. But I also just felt that neither of these teams were going to beat each other back to back. So if that holds up, I mean, the Liberty are looking at their first finals, and we'll see some celebration throughout the city here, me and Rios. But we'll find out soon enough. I need a Brianna Stewart game. Like she has to, she has the 4 championships at UConn. She's the coveted All American, basketball player of the year, MVP of the league. You need to find those. You need to find those wins.
Yeah, she
That's what
needs
we
that.
need.
She needs that. I think Yeah, I think the most pressure is on Brianna Stewart just because she's had her last year, her finals performance last year was not good.
Yeah,
So I think the pressure's on her the most. And also too, I think I'd say out of the players in that younger generation, I feel like she's the only one that hasn't gotten over the hump yet.
yeah.
So I feel like that WNBA finals is just like that's the thing that's only lacking her. I feel like she needs to get that. She really needs to get that.
She's over 3 right now. The Liberty are shooting 29% from the field so far throughout the game. Minnesota shooting about 45 from the field. Rios, what do the Liberty have to do to change to turn it around these last 3 quarters?
I think what they need to do is, I mean, McBride and Collier. I feel like those two are the X factors in terms of what the Lynx do. So I feel as if like I've been watching them so far. They've been doubling Collier off the low block right away. So like pretty much because she's such a good passer, I feel as if they just gotta like let Stewie guard her 1-on-1, and then you just let everyone roam, and then you let everyone pick their spots. But Collier is such a good scorer too that it's just
Yeah.
I think me personally, this may be a hot take. I think she's the second best player in the league.
Hmm.
Collier.
Nafisa is nice,
I
especially
really do in terms of
defensively.
just like if you look at the total package of what she does and what she brings to a team, I think she's the second best player in the league.
Yeah, and then you add a dog like Courtney Williams right there next to him, and I mean that's like I feel like she's kind of the X factor in this game because she can turn it up at any moment and kind of just go for a quick 10, quick 12, and spark that team. And it's not like she's coming off the bench or anything, but she just has this energy about her, and I think her teammates rally around that.
Right, and she's a great defender. She's a great help
Yeah, it's
defender as
tough,
well
super
too.
tough.
So, like, she does the dirty work. I feel like that's the thing that the Liberty lack. I feel like they don't have those dirty work
Yeah,
players. Like,
yeah,
I feel like you need that
definitely.
in order to win a championship.
Yeah, like Benaja Laney, I thought would be kind of that role for them, but I, and I don't want to discredit her. I don't think she's dirty enough. If that's
Right, exactly.
no.
Exactly.
And there we go. The next live look in, I want to take it over to the baseball diamond in the NLCS. Hey, man, we're 2 games away from a Subway Series. I'm going to keep saying it, June, because I wholeheartedly believe that the Mets are about to knock off 2 straight. And don't look now, bottom of the first, 1 on, but the Mets are up 1-0.
Yo!
Hold on. I need you to look at the camera and well, first of all, I
All
want
right,
you
all
to know.
right. I can correct myself. Bottom of the first, 1 out, runners in the corner. But
Oh
this,
no, it ain't that. You wholeheartedly believe that the Mets are gonna come back these last 2 games and beat and eliminate the Dodgers?
just as much as you wholeheartedly believe that they are not. So yes, I can say yes.
Listen, yo,
1,000%. We didn't think they were gonna get here, June. I didn't think they were gonna get past
No, no, no,
Milwaukee,
no, no, no.
and then they
Yeah,
got
the
past
conversation. So
Milwaukee.
the conversation definitely took a crazy turn. Like last 3 weeks of baseball, right, leading into the wild card. Yeah, I mean, Alfred dead, and then versus the Braves didn't. It was a little hate on our end because we were like, it's a fucking Mets. They've shown us, and in that Philly series, it really changed my mind. And I was like, all right, you know what? Like, hottest team in baseball since like the summer, kind of, and then getting here, and they're not fluking. Like, this is legit. Um, I just think that Dodgers team is way too good. I think that with the plate discipline they have and the walks that the Mets pitchers have given up. It's a recipe for disaster, and I don't think you can do that for 7 games and win a series versus a team like LA, who's already runners on the corners, 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Hey man, I didn't think they were gonna get here. No one thought they were gonna get here. Beginning of the season, we're talking about the same old Mets, the same old
Yo,
Mets,
listen,
and now they're here.
They were in fourth place in the middle of June.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like, this is not a failure for them. I just think that with the payroll, to be fair, Mets have what? I believe what? They're top five in payroll.
Top
Number
five. Yeah, number one.
one. So they're expected to make the playoffs. So let's be real here.
they're expected to make the championship.
Yeah, my thing is exactly. So my thing is this though with the Mets.
When did that expectation start? Because
When they paid the money they paid to all those guys this offseason to bolster up that roster,
Yeah,
and get here. When were they expected to get here? You know, at what point do we think the Mets are going to win? They have to win at some point. I would think that when they're paying $305 million for payroll, it would be the year.
right, exactly. But my thing is, the NL East is just it's so loaded minus Washington
And the Marlins.
and the Marlins. Well, my bad. But
it's not a real team.
you chill, don't do that, bro. Don't
It's
hate the
not.
don't hate on the fire.
You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it.
All right, but yeah, but I just think with the Mets though, in terms of just how what their future's looking like too. Their future's not that bad too. Acuna is a top 50 prospect, so you have another cornerstone piece there for them.
Yeah.
So it's like it's interesting to see how they're gonna be for the next 5 years. I just think that Pete Alonso's gone after next year. We already know he's out of there. So it's just a matter of them building up the young guys with the prospects. I do like Nemo. I do like Vientos. I think Vientos is gonna eventually he'll be a DH or whatever down the line, but. I think the mixture of young guys, of young talent they got, Alvarez, I think he'll take that next step. And I think that next step will him being the best catcher in the National League, I think, at some point. So I do think that it's going to look up for the Mets. It's just a matter of them staying healthy. That's all.
Okay, so and I don't want to be that guy. But let's they are in the NLCS right now, right? They do have 2 games left to win to get to the World Series. They do have the number 1 payroll in the league. Let's not talk about their future. I think that they've saved themselves for a lot of criticism based on how bad they did.
Absolutely.
And like now we're looking at them as if they're overachieving. Like no. They're not
right. That's what I'm
overachieving.
saying.
They should be in this position, and they have the talent to do it.
And this is the same.
I don't want to let them off the hook.
And this is the same team that won 100 games 2 years ago, right?
Yes. Yeah. They got Diaz. You know, so it's like they have done so bad that it looks so good right now. But in reality, they're just
shout out Grimace and Haktua.
Hey, they also did just lose the lead. They are down 2-1 right now. Bottom of the first, 2 outs, runner on second. We will circle back to this game momentarily. June referenced a lot of great things that happened in football this weekend, specifically in college football. We had some great games. We had Oregon stand on business. BYU let Oklahoma hang around but pulled it off in the end. I mean, obviously, them boys is still with the 0 in the loss column. June, talk to me about some of your biggest takeaways from yesterday.
Let me just say this. I just saw Devontae Adams drop a pass. Let me just say this.
Oh no! Oh no!
I don't know, but oh man, I don't want to get too much. And you know, Reels, I know we want to talk about college football. We're gonna be on the show tomorrow. If you have time, you can make it. Great. If not,
I know what you're gonna say. I know.
No. We're not doing that. We can't spend too much time here on college football. So I just want to give a fair warning. But as far as my thoughts on this weekend, you know, I did have a good time at Six Flags yesterday. Shout out to everybody who was out in the park with. Had a great time. Uh, but I had, this YouTube TV is very clutch. I had the games going while I'm at the park. I see Georgia's down. I mean, Georgia's up 20 to zip at one point. I see Texas and Tennessee, excuse me, Alabama and Tennessee are in a really good game. Uh, and I'm like, all right, shit. I mean, USC almost took a loss. Matter of fact, USC did lose to Maryland late. And so I'm just trying to recap. But I got home. I got home at like 4:30 after dropping everybody off a.m. And so I put on college football final, ran it back from the beginning, and I just had to recap, the day and see what was going on. But I'm very disappointed, I'll say, in the Hurricanes defense and how we're letting teams score 40 points. That is extremely
Unacceptable.
below standard, extremely unacceptable. I don't think we can beat Georgia, Texas, and probably even Bama with this the way things are going right now. As great as we look, and we are, a 7-0
What about
team.
what about a team like Tennessee?
Yes, yes, yes. A
You
freshman
think you guys
quarterback,
can?
freshman quarterback. I'm taking that. I'm taking that.
But Tennessee has a good defense though.
No, Tennessee has a great, but we have
A
the best
great
offense.
defense.
We have the best offense. I'm not worried about what they're doing on defense. I'm worried about can we
Right.
stop what they're doing on offense,
But,
because we shouldn't be in a 45 to 52 shootout with
but
Louisville.
also but also too, I mean, to be fair, I feel as if Louisville is not a bad team though.
They're not, but they
They're
are
not at
they
all.
are they are they are decent in the ACC, and that is not a great conference. We're trying to be top five with the best of the best,
Right.
and they
Right.
don't come from the ACC. So
Right.
we got to play above what we're playing, and so that's why style points and like
Oh
how we
yeah, that
play
shit
against Georgia
matters. Yeah,
Tech
no, that shit matters.
and
Yeah.
Florida State are gonna matter. It's gonna matter because we got the last 3 weeks is a close win by Cal, close win by Louisville, and a close win by Virginia Tech. Not impressive. It's just getting the job done and keeping a zero on that loss record. However, we understand we want a national championship this year. We want more. So we're gonna have to see, a lot of improvement from Lance Guidry's defense. And if not, something's gonna crumble if we don't. And I can feel it. That's why I'm a little like it was such a cool game, fun game. Cam Ward did again, but we can't keep relying on our Heisman quarterback to put up Heisman performances to keep us afloat. We need to figure out on the defensive side of the ball how to play stout and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
control the
I give
trenches.
up. I give up
So
too many explosive plays. I think the thing is with the defense is what Miami is. The difference between those teams like Georgia, Texas, and you have like Oregon, they don't give up those explosive plays. And I feel as if Miami and at the most like times where like you can't give those
yeah,
plays,
yeah,
they give them up. And you can't do that against teams like Georgia,
yeah,
Bama, even a team like Tennessee. Even with a team like Tennessee, where they have like they got a freshman quarterback, but they got explosive guys on the outside. They
right.
have people tight end, so it's like those SEC teams. Those guys. I feel as if y'all can't. It's tough though, but I think this year it's so wide open though. I really don't think from watching the
It
field.
is.
I don't think there's any one team that's just above the rest, and then everybody else just bottom feeders. It's not like a 2020 Alabama year where
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, Bama's just gonna run away with this motherfucking thing, and
I,
then
I
everybody else.
will say though, if there is that one team, it's still Georgia. I think that we saw that this weekend with their dominant performance over Quinn Ewers and that Texas team, and
But
and Georgia lost to Alabama. I understand, but my thing is Georgia Alabama is going to be great when those teams are great. So we can't
Yeah.
chalk it up there. We have to look at how Georgia comes out of this loss, how Bama responds from that win, and since then Georgia has been the number one team in the country and has
I
dominated
think
their
so as
opponent.
well. I think so as well. I think their defense now starting to finally pick up, and I feel like
Right.
that was the fun, and that was
Right. Yeah, because
especially
last week versus Mississippi State, it was a close game and it was kind of like. However, the problem with Georgia, in my opinion, I think is their quarterback, Carson
I
Beck.
agree too. I'm not a big fan of Carson
He's
Beck.
been struggling,
Right.
and their
And
defense won them the game yesterday.
oh, of
So
course. But
I don't
also
want to hear nothing about no quarterback if it ain't Cam and Shador as number 1 and 2 because Jalen Milrow. I saw a tweet. They're like, "You're gonna be running routes at the combine, buddy." Like Jesus Christ.
yeah, I think Quinn is gonna be if we look in terms of like NFL
Yeah,
prospects, I think Quinn's gonna be okay.
yeah,
I think Quinn would have to be in the right system at the right for the right team. Like I don't like I think Quinn. I don't think you could throw him into the fire that
Right,
early. I
right.
think he would have to sit a year or a year or two, and then he'll eventually learn. But like Cam, you could throw into the fire. I feel like Shadur, you would have to throw into the fire right away. But that's just how the league is now. But in terms of just the college football landscape right now, I think Georgia. I really think Georgia and Oregon right now. I think those two teams to me are standing out the most.
Definitely. Well,
Mm.
yeah, man. We got more coming tomorrow with that college football shit, man. I can't
Hey,
wait.
real quick before we switch over to today's afternoon NFL games, because you mentioned Shador, don't look now. 5-2 Colorado, third in the Big 12 after a heartbreaking loss to Kansas State. They stand on business against Arizona, 34-7. Shador Sanders went 23 for 33, 250, two picks, two tutties. June, you're impressed by this Colorado team yet?
Nah, it is. It was an impressive win yesterday, and Arizona's not the most impressive team to beat. But a thing about yesterday's win for Colorado was that they didn't lean on Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter to like win them the game. I think we saw complimentary football. So again, Arizona not really a big test. Kansas State was a it was a tough loss last week because I thought they would lose that game, and
But
DJ
Kansas State's well
Pittman.
coached. They're well
Yeah, and
coached.
they have one of the best running backs in the country, and
Yeah.
so Colorado we know can't stop that. However, last night we definitely saw Colorado come through special teams, offense, defense, and dominate. From start to finish. So yeah, very impressed by that win.
Yeah, to me, this is their best win in the Dion era so far, just because it was all complete. It was a culmination of everything. It wasn't just Shadur and Travis. It was the whole team. You saw Horn get some action in, and one of the interceptions wasn't Shadur's fault too. One of the
Right,
guy
right,
was in the wrong route, so
right.
that was a miscommunication on him. So I won't give Shadur that one, the one of the picks. But if I'm looking in terms of like prospect wise, in terms of Shadur, I think him getting a lot of work under center, I feel like that is very key for NFL scouts as well, because I feel like a lot of now we see a lot of explosive players are coming with teams under center, and the fact that he's getting more snaps and reps under center, feel like it's opening a lot of eyes to say, hey, he may be the number one quarterback coming in this upcoming draft. Whereas if the debate between him and Cam is 1A 1B to me, but I just think that in terms of just if you look at offensive scheme, I feel as if Shadur's in a more pro style offense,
Yeah,
like that kind of gives him the edge a little bit over Cam.
I can
But
see that.
hey, listen, Cam is cold, man. To me, I think Cam is a better throw of the football, but I think Shadur is a better executor of offense just because of the.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Hmm. Let's take it over to the pros. And I want to take it back to Thursday night because Sean Payton went on a revenge tour.
Honestly,
Yo,
honestly,
really?
we
Yo,
really don't got to throw it back to Thursday night. To be honest,
that game was
I didn't pull up here to talk about that game.
yeah, Spencer Rattler versus Bo Nix. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yo, I had to sweat an over until the last minute and a half. I needed that last touchdown from New Orleans. I guess they needed it for morale purposes as well. Sean Payton did stand on business. We know through the league, through the grapevine, he's a very petty person, very petty coach. And I had no doubt that they were going to walk in there and just manhandle New Orleans. New Orleans on a steep decline since the first two
Yo,
weeks of the season. Very steep decline. June, are you going to put the F word attached to New Orleans?
I would. I
Are
don't
they
think
even,
we
are
should
they
have
even
given.
worthy of the F
Ace
Yeah, no,
Hood,
word?
I don't think we should have given.
Ace Hood watch, Rolly Bezel.
I don't think we should have given them any, super. Well, okay. Let me.
Nah, this what happened with the Saints, yo. I'm gonna keep it a bean. They played the Cowboys at 425. That's what happened. That's what happened. No, week two,
Oh man.
Listen, it was week two. You feel me? We all was like, oh shit, it's prime time game, America's game of the week. And they put them paws, they put belt to ass in Dallas, and we thought, oh shit, New Orleans is here. New Orleans is
And,
here.
and who they beat week one? Carolina.
Right, like yeah, right. And I just think that with the Saints, with them specifically, so far, they just stopped feeding the ball to Olave.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Concussion fucked them up. Now they don't got Rashid Shaheed. They're dealing with a backup quarterback. I'll say this, EP. Can we move on?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you.
Hey, the Jaguars did stay in London for a week. Don't worry, we're not gonna actually
They
talk
gotta
about
And
yo,
that.
we
they,
gotta
they
go,
gotta
and we
yo.
gotta move by this one pretty quick too. By the way.
The
Yeah, word.
Jaguars did stay in London, and Doug Peterson does not lose back-to-back weeks against freshman QBs and rookie QBs. Pardon me, and he does live to coach another day
Man,
in Jacksonville.
shout
We
out Tanks Bigsby, man. Got him in Dynasty Fantasy too, yo.
Yeah, I heard he's been doing really good in fantasy. Doug Peterson looks like he got his guys behind him playing for him. So, it was a good sight to see that they were able to play hard for their coach, knowing that a loss here today could have been the end of the Doug Peterson era in Jacksonville or in London. But yeah, like you said, he lives to coach another day.
Hey, the Seahawks put their talons on the Falcons. That wasn't impressive. Kirko Cousins, I mean, at this point, under 500 at home in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. I don't know what's going on there. We had a lot of expectations for him, and now he's losing, putting up yards, losing.
Also,
Now,
too, yo, got a fantasy take for y'all too. The top three running backs in fantasy this year have been straight ass.
Oh,
Straight ass.
uh,
Bijan, Brees, and Snow Bunny Pearl.
yo,
Straight ass, bro. All right. So yo, I'm just keeping it real. I'm a fantasy player, you know what I'm saying? So yo, I'm suffering. I got Bijan in the league. I'm suffering, bro.
and we thought that was coaching last year with Arthur Smith not wanting to give him the ball, but it looks like you know
Wait,
what?
yo, Drew, you saying he's ass, Drew?
I'm
Drew, you
not,
saying he's
but I'm saying that two different coaches aren't going to him, and I don't know why.
mm,
And
mm,
this could be on the coaches, but they're seeing more than I am, so I don't know.
mm,
My thing is he's explosive when he touches the ball. Like he does make plays. We can't be blind to Bijan Robinson's
right.
impact, but the consistency in which he has opportunity is kind of questionable when you
But
have
I,
two different
but
coaches.
but that's the problem when you draft a running back in the first round and you
In the
previously had
top,
a running back
the top
that
10,
ran
let's
for
say.
1,100 yards. You got you gotta that's just bad GM work.
Yeah.
mm. One game that was a blowout that wasn't pretty that we do have to talk about is Tennessee going to Buffalo. Buffalo remains undefeated at home, and we had an Amari Cooper debut for the Bills where he had 4 receptions, 66 yards, average 16 and a half yards a reception, and a touchdown. Keon Coleman for Buffalo, 4 receptions, 125 yards, averaging 30, just over 30 yards a
Welcome to the
catch.
NFL, Keon Coleman.
Welcome to
Back
the
slow
NFL. Hey,
ass shit.
it might be the funniest player in the league at this point. I'm not gonna hold you. June, is Amari Cooper the key for Buffalo to get over that proverbial hump that they haven't been able to get over?
Hey, he definitely the slowest rookie wide receiver. But yeah, Amari Cooper, I think he does an amazing deal for this offense. Like they didn't figure it out. Josh Allen is as good as advertised, and he can lead a team to a couple wins himself. Um, James Cook goes down, and now they got their backup running back balling out. Rookie at that. Amari Cooper, I think, just unlocks another level for this offense. It's only one receiver, but look at how in the debut game that Amari Cooper comes to Buffalo, their rookie wide receiver goes for a buck 25. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
Yeah.
that's coincidental. I don't think that's coaches wanted to go to him this week. I think that is a product of his environment and the fact that Amari Cooper attracts a lot of eyes in that defensive backfield, especially with his one-on-one ability. He's a precision route runner, and so if you don't have whether you're guarding him or not, you're kind of everybody gets caught ball watching, and you could be caught ball watching from the other side of the field just because of a presence. And so you looking at Amari Cooper run his routes, and you're like, oh shit, the rookie got by me, And so I think we saw a lot of that today, And Josh Allen, give him credit for being able to, I guess, diagnose and figure out where the defense was going, so he can go the opposite way. And he did a good job at that today.
Rios, you got anything on that game?
I think the Bills are like they're finally hitting their stride. I think that plus 340 Jets winning the AFC East might be a sucker's bet, yo. That might be a sucker's bet. I think Buffalo, I think the way they're trending now, I feel like once Cooper gets more weeks under his belt with Josh, and I feel like once that offense starts to get flowing, that defense is still pretty solid too. Like I feel like the Bills defense really hasn't changed much. So I think they're a dark horse to win the East. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up winning that division. I just think that we've seen enough from Josh to where he can win games by himself. He can lead a team. So I feel like now he got that receiver, which they got for $845,000. By the way, that's how much they paying Cooper right now. So I feel like he's the best bargain right now for in the league right now. So yeah, I mean. Buffalo's looking scary. I think that to me, I think in the AFC, they're the team to look out for second half of the year.
Hey, Josh Allen has thrown no picks this season after last year. Josh Allen over half a pick was like a free bet.
I mean, think about what you just said. I mean, no interceptions almost here at the midway point of the season for Josh Allen.
That's crazy, bro.
I think him adding that part of his game to his arsenal is Super Bowl contending off rip. That's going to elevate them to 3 more wins, 2 more wins, because they've lost plenty games because of Josh Allen's turnovers. Him trying to do too much, him trying to turn a bad play into a worse play. But he knows that right now he doesn't have the exact arsenal that he would have liked maybe to have going into the season. Now that they got Cooper, Rio said it's a very good steal, I think, as well. It probably does end up being maybe a steal of the mid-season acquisitions after the trade deadline is done. But he understands, I don't have room for this error. It's on me. And to see what he's doing right now, he should be, in the MVP talks because if we're talking about value for a team,
for sure.
Josh Allen has got it.
And also, too, I think him having a solidified run game helps him out a lot, too.
Yeah.
James Cook does so much for the Bills on offense, man. I don't think James Cook gets enough credit for what he's done so far this season.
I mean, he's young. He's still young.
He's still young, right? He's still young, but I feel as if in terms of him, being that crutch for Allen so far throughout the year before pre-Cooper, I feel as if he hasn't got enough credit for that. So.
The Bengals travel to Cleveland, get their first win in Cleveland in the Joe Burrow era. Deshaun Watson, non-contact leg injuries. Rumors are circulating that it seems to be an Achilles. He's probably out for the season. Get well soon. Physical therapy is probably going to be crazy. I had to get that joke off. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow did his thing. June, they strung together back-to-back wins. It's looking like the same old Bengals that start slow and start to heat up. Could this be the turnaround for their season?
I think you get a lot of confidence when you play the Browns right now, knowing that they don't have, any firepower to them or whatever. But the Bengals, what I respect about them is that they're going to stay in their own world. They're going to, try to figure it out in their own bubble. Their thing is, we can struggle all we want. We need to beat the Ravens, we need to beat the Steelers, and we need to beat the Browns. They had the Ravens in the fucking bag, and I think that game is going to prove so costly later in the season because of the struggles that they're having early on.
Yeah.
And that game would have been a blessing to have, later in the season if they finish off with 9
exactly.
So they let that one get away from them. So ultimately, I don't think that this Bengals team is going to have the success I once thought maybe in August or the first weeks of September. However, it is promising to see that they're not quitting. They are getting healthy and they're playing good football. Do you know who they got next week, EP?
Dang, I was just looking at it. They have the Eagles, right? Hold on, let me verify that before you start. before you start. Yeah, they got the Eagles at home in Cincinnati, 1 p.m. game, October the
Oh
27th.
wow, 1 p.m.
Hey,
That might get flexed out. That might
yeah, that might to the 4 o'clock, and I think that's a
yeah.
It's gonna. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, June. Nah, I think that we may have lost June's audio for 1 second. We'll work on getting that back. A lot of other games obviously happened today. We had the Packers edge out against the Texans at home, 24-22. Jordan Love, 24 for 33, 220, and three of them things. The Texans are 5-2. The Packers are also 5-2, 3-1 at home. Reels. Houston looks a little shaky this season. I mean, like I said, they're 5-2. They're winning games, but they're not winning in the most impressive
Right.
fashions. Are we seeing a little bit of decline, or is this just a little bit of a sophomore slump for
I
CJ
think
Stroud and company?
I think there's tape on CJ Stroud now, so I feel as if teams are starting to figure out that Texans offense a little bit. Um, I do like the thing with the Texans though. I think going later on down the line, they don't have. I think they need secondary help. I think I like Stingley and I like the new corner, the rookie corner they have over there, but I think they need to bolster up that nickel spot and also to their linebackers as well. But I do think with CJ, and with the Texans, I think they were the trendy pick this year. Everybody was picking the Texans to win the South and would go to Super Bowl potentially like that, right? I know, I know you about to get hated back real quick. I know you about to get
no,
hated.
no, no. Do your
But
thing, man.
but but I do think that with the Texans, I think them them losing key pieces on their defense kind of is the difference to them. Whereas if last year they were all on the same page with D'Amico Ryans and those guys and all of that. So I think them losing some pieces in the secondary was big for them.
June, any takeaways from this Texans Green Bay game today that we saw?
Yes, but before I get there, I did want to talk about how if the Bengals are able to go and string straight three straight wins going into next week, if they beat the Eagles, we saw the Eagles didn't really have much of a test today. Saquon was in a revenge game at MetLife versus a Giants team that shows us that they can play good sometimes, but their quarterback just isn't the
Yo
answer.
yo yo yo.
We're not going to spend too much on that. We'll let you solve.
Time out. Hold on. Wait. I gotta take for my Giants fans out here. Yo, listen. Yo. I've seen this. I want to trade for Matthew Stafford. Yo.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's ask. What? Give me a second and a fifth for him.
oh.
I'll give him that. Because listen, the defense, the Giants defense, you could win with that defense. You could definitely win with that defense.
Yeah, they lead the league in
So,
sacks.
so
Got Brian Burns over
so
there.
my thing is, I don't know. I don't want to do what the Jets and Browns do and waste a good defense. So why not have a bridge quarterback, right? Because I don't think the Giants personally, I don't think they like the quarterbacks in this draft again. I don't think they do, right? For reasons we know, for reasons me and Julian know,
You and I know.
and you know as well. They not gonna they not gonna take the first two. All right, they're not gonna take them. But I do think that getting a bridge guy would be key for them. And then you wait next year for Archie, and then you see what you got there. But I'm down for Travis Hunter. Why not? Why not? You get Trav, you sign Stafford, and then you see what's up. Because you listen, you can't waste that defense. That defense is too good.
Yeah, yeah.
That defense is too. I mean, this week was
This was the conversation they should have had in the off season that they paid Daniel
bro.
Jones.
Listen, yo, you watch that offseason shit on the show. Oh, he wanted Jaden Daniels, yo. I was punching the air. I'm like, come on, son. This is like McAdoo and Mahomes again, bro.
Even his kid was like, "Dad, I think you should take Jaden."
Jaden
Bro,
Daniels.
yo, watching that shit, son. Yo, when I mean that shit got me so mad, yo. I mean, listen, Neighbors is a dog. Neighbors is a dog. I love Neighbors, but yo, Daniels, come on, son.
Yeah, had an injury today. We'll talk about Daniels in a second. Real
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
back to my Bengals. I mean, they got the Eagles, then they go Raiders, Ravens. So I'm not calling Superman out here. I do think Joe Burrow is more than capable of stringing off a few to 4 to 5 wins straight. Now, next week
Whoa,
is going to be a key.
whoa.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Next week will be a key, right? Tough matchup uh, at home versus an Eagles team that hasn't necessarily shown us much consistency, right?
Fair,
They've
fair.
relied on the health
Fair.
of their stars, and the Bengals have been getting better, while the Eagles hasn't necessarily been getting worse. But they're kind of just doing the same thing,
Well, I
at
mean,
4-2. Not too much to be so proud of if you're an Eagles fan. And that's my point. So if I see this schedule as a Bengals fan or as a Bengal, Eagles, Raiders, and then you get your chance at the Ravens again, who you had them dead to rights,
yes, yeah, you did.
and you lose a game. Now you got to go on the road and try to beat them, which is a game you absolutely have to win if you want, any chance at the division. I think there is some possibility to say, hey, the Bengals are still afloat. The Bengals still have life in them. And until they lose maybe 2 out of these 3 games here, I'm not going to really call it for them. So that's that. Let me jump real quick to the Texans. I know you guys spoke about Packers, Texans. The defense looked amazing. And then offensive line for Houston. If they continue to play that way, there is no way that this team is a Super Bowl contending team. They are just a beautiful AFC playoff team. And we have a lot of beautiful AFC playoff teams. And we have a lot of beautiful teams that just play, good. But you don't win games in the playoffs when your quarterback can't throw for 100 yards.
Right.
And obviously, this is a glaring, like one all be all, hopefully, for the Texans where CJ Stroud puts up these type of numbers. However, the offensive line pass protection has been an issue throughout the season. If they don't clean that up, there's going to be a lot of problems. Colts go to town in Houston next week, and we're playing for first place. With what we saw from Anthony Richardson in the offense today versus a very, very good Dolphins defense, not promising, right?
All right, I'm about to say.
Very, very underwhelming. Very, what are we doing? Where is everything? But I want to keep in mind, Jonathan Taylor is still out. Very big part of what we do on offense. Anthony Richardson is still growing, and uh, the last 2 times we've played the Texans, they were close games. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And I,
Hey
and I
man.
want to say this about Jordan Love real quick too, man. Yo, he all right. So I think he has a little bit of both. He got the both syndrome. He got the Brett Favre fuck it. Jalen Reed's down there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw this bitch up. And he got the Aaron Rodgers. All right, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna hit the check down. So it's a mixture of both.
Both
But
of
it's
them.
it's funny to see though. It's really funny to see how like Jordan Love like he's really a mixture of both. It's
Yeah.
it's it's hilarious. It really is. Like, yo, listen, we're gonna have. I feel as if for Jordan Love, we're gonna get the 2 touchdown, 2 interception game. That's gonna be the norm for him.
I think like he's like if Jameis Winston got lucky kind of guy. Like he'd be throwing these crazy ass
'Cause
passes and
you
they
throw
get
you look at
completed.
the
You're
picks
like,
he throws, you look at the picks he throws, you're like, wait, what the fuck were you looking at in that?
Yeah.
But then it's like you look at his touchdown pass, like, oh shit, this is a nice fucking throw he just did.
yeah.
But I just think with the Packers, though, I think the NFC North, we know that's the best division of football right now by far. Even with Chicago and their and how they're rolling with Caleb and all of them
Yeah.
too. I do think the Packers do need to make a move at the trade deadline for what they got to get a piece on defense or something just to put them above that edge. I think because I think in the NFC they're that sleeper team. I think they could make noise in the NFC, especially in that playoff run, especially in that playoff picture. So I do think they need to bolster up that pass rush. So they got to look at some pieces. I think so. They may look at the signs of free agents, but I don't know, man. With the NFC North, I think it's very tricky. It's a very wide open conference this year. I think for that
And let's keep it right there. Let's keep it right there. A couple weeks ago, Drew, we talked about who we thought would lose first between the Vikings and the Chiefs. And hey, we was right. The Vikings did fall to Detroit. And like I was saying, it did seem like Dan Campbell told them, hey, this team thinks that they're a lot better than you. And everybody in this room knows that that is not true. They win 31-29 with a last second field goal, and they take commanding they take lead. I don't say commanding because they're tied, but they got the one up on Minnesota. They take lead in the NFC North right now. What are your biggest takeaways, Rios, from the Minnesota Vikings side of the ball in this game?
one. I don't think it was a bad loss for Minnesota at all. I just feel as if it was a couple of turnover. It was a turnover that was a difference for real. If you look at it, if you look at the game of the landscape of the game, um, I do think that Darnold does enough. Like if you watch these first like 6 games, I see the vision. I see the vision. Listen, he played for Adam Gase. I feel as if you played for Adam Gase in that era, you deserve a pass. So I feel as if him, he has the right personnel. He's able to, he has a capable receiver. He has the best receiver in the league. I like the 1-2 punch that they have at running back with Chandler and Jones. I feel like that is very capable enough for the playoffs, moving them down the line if they make the playoffs or if they're that wild card team. But I mean, with Minnesota, I think with their defense, I think they just get key stops at the right time. And I feel as if that can win you football games. If you look at a lot of teams that make the playoffs, and a lot of teams that have these playoff runs, right? They get these key stops at the most opportune times. So Minnesota has been able to do that the past 6 weeks. But also too, if you play, if you could play, double-edged sword with it, you could argue that Minnesota has been playing bottom feeders, you know? So it's like, are they a real are they a true contender? Are they a true threat in the NFC? We don't know,
I,
you
I
know?
would like to. I would like to argue that them playing the 49ers, the Texans, and the Packers in 3 straight weeks gives me gives them my respect and their credibility as far as what they've done and
Right.
to who they've done it to. We haven't seen CJ Stroud as distraught today since Minnesota. Um, and I don't. So I do disagree there. I agreed with
But do
everything
you
else.
okay, but when they played the Niners though, the Niners weren't healthy.
And here's the
So it's
thing.
like
I
I
don't.
kind of
My thing is though, for this Niners weren't healthy. I think they have way too much talent for them to not be healthy. Like you don't have Debo and you don't have Christian McCaffrey. You still have a bunch of great guys on that team.
And you
And
still got Bosa too on the defensive
yeah,
side.
like
Bosa can't stay. He can't stay healthy. He's hurt every damn week.
and hey, I mean, then they've got bigger fish to fry as far as the problems department. But I wouldn't say, like they didn't play a good 49ers team or a good Texans team or a good the third team that I just mentioned, Packers, right?
Packers.
And so and they made an example out of Jordan Love that day. I
Oh, of
think that
course.
was
Yeah, that was his worst game. That was his worst game as a pro.
that was the game he came back from his injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But nonetheless, this just tells me that the Lions are as good as we think they are and know them to be. They run the ball. They play really good defense, and their good guys are really good. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, how clutch is he? Right, grabbing key first downs. Jameer Gibbs going for 115 yards and Amon-Ra going for 112 yards. I mean, when your best player is getting in the end zone 3 times and putting up over 200 yards, that feels like a win. And much to Rio's point, that turnover Sam Darnold had was one of the keys of the game because, I mean, 22 of 27, 260 yards,
Yo, listen, yo.
pretty fucking efficient, you know?
He's my pick. He's my early pick for comeback player of the year.
I just don't know that they're gonna put him in that category. I don't know if he qualifies for that category for whatever reason. I was hearing something. I could be wrong, but just don't be surprised or don't let your feelings get hurt when you find that out. But I agree as well that the NFC North is the best division in football, and these are the two best teams in the NFC. So I think we're gonna see the playoffs go through Detroit and Minnesota, and
Jeez.
then Kansas City at that point.
I'm happy because my Super Bowl pick it's still looking very strong. I picked Kansas City, Detroit.
Yeah, I mean Kansas City. We're gonna see the first back-to-back. Well, if Detroit goes, I think Detroit beats Kansas City. But I think we'll probably see the first back-to-back championship in NFL history this year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Did you see that move when he faked like he was going out of bounds and hit that sideline?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I
then
want to
runs
say
over
this.
the middle linebacker for 6.
I want to say this for my fantasy football players, yo. The Mahomes era is over, y'all. It's over. It's over.
Mm.
Now,
And we
Well,
go.
what do you mean by that?
I don't think meaning he's not QB1 in fantasy anymore.
Yeah, he shouldn't be.
I think those days are over. I think him racking it up like that, like his first 3 years in the league.
Yeah, I mean Tyreek Hill, I think was
His
a big
first
part
no
of that.
his first five. I'm sorry, his first five. I don't even think he's gonna be a top 10 fantasy. I think those days are over. I think now I feel as if he's settled enough now to where it's like, all right, let's get these dubs. Let's ring it up a little bit. You feel me? So I feel as if I feel like that era of him, being drafted the top 40 in the top 40, that shit is done now. It's over.
And I think this is music to your ears if you're a Chiefs fan, because the Chiefs are still undefeated, and you're saying Patrick Mahomes isn't a top 40 guy in the fantasy draft. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm saying, look, that means we just know how to win.
Right.
We just know how to win.
Right. And
figure it out however we got to do it.
And also too, I think because if you look at the Chiefs now and how they're built too, if you look at that early Chiefs run with Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey, they didn't have the defense. They didn't have the secondary. The secondary was the biggest Achilles heel.
Sandejo, bro, 42, get him off the field. I remember
right,
that.
Right. Now they have arguably the best secondary in football.
After losing a L'Jarius Sneed, who's struggling in Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
And I think Trent McDuffie right now, if you look at just total,
he's not CB1, but I get what
he's not CB1. However, I think he's the best zone corner in football, and that's all that fucking matters in today's NFL, bro. Can you guard 15 yards and behind you? I feel as if he does that very well. And with that Spagnuolo defense, listen, I'm a Giants fan. I know what that shit looked like. I know what that shit looked like. Your corners, you don't have to have the rangy long corners. They just got to be disciplined. And I feel as if the Chiefs right now, if you look at their secondary, they're the most disciplined secondary, and I feel as if that is the difference with them previously and to now. And I feel as if now with Mahomes, he got that bread now. You could build the defense now. And the run. So it's looking scary for the league, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's looking scary for the league.
Last week, as of 2 weeks ago, because the Chiefs had a bye last week, the Chiefs plus minus was plus 33, which was the lowest for any undefeated team in 20 years since the 2004 New York Jets, actually.
Like that shit is crazy, bro. I don't think the Patriots ever did that shit, right? Like like come on.
Before we get to the game of the week that was in San Francisco and playing against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl rematch, we'll kick it back over to some live looks real quick. Lynx, Liberty have closed in on that gap. They are trailing by 5.
Okay.
Third quarter just started, 34-29. They did outscore the Lynx by 2 in the second quarter, and so far it's 2-0 in the third quarter.
EP, that timing is so immaculate over there. You're gonna set it up right now. Go ahead. Bases loaded. Go ahead.
Bases loaded. Top of the third in game 6 of the NLCS. Dodgers still up 2-1. There are two outs, and the count is 0-2. Mets are looking to strike and possibly take the lead. And if we kick it over to Sunday Night Football, the Jets are up 7-3, about a third of the way through the second quarter. We got about 11 and a half minutes until halftime. But the Steelers are marching down the field. They are on New York's 32-yard line, and they are looking to strike back.
Hey, I'll tell you this. They just had a big play, George Pickens, Russell Wilson connection. Rios, you was talking about this early. And now I got a question for you, EP, because we just saw a strikeout in LA to end the inning. How many bases or runners left on base have the Mets let this
Yo,
series?
yo,
Because
son.
I think they might have had a historical fucking
Yeah, it's at that pace. They said it's really at that historical pace. I
walks
believe game two. I
and
believe game two they left.
base runners left on. Insane. I mean, talk about not being able to execute the opportunity in front of you. And if you're a Mets fan, you just got to be a little disappointed because at the end of the day, you understand it's the Dodgers. You understand you guys suck. You're here now though, and it's not like the Dodgers just blew you out the park. Like these games haven't been, there were two blowouts. There was a couple. The Dodgers blew them out in game one, and then Mets came back, blew them out in game two. Dodgers blew them out in game three, and then it got a little closer. Game four, game five. Now we're here at six. It's close, but how many opportunities have you guys just left on the table? It's not to say you guys didn't have a chance at this, and so I think that's all the difference right there. Just lack of execution in big spots.
There it is. There it is. Now, like I was saying earlier, I want to kick it over to what they said was the game of the week this week in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs at the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, Chiefs do show some inefficiencies going scoreless throughout half the game. That'd be the first and the third quarter, but defense showed up and they were able to edge it out 28 to
Yo,
18. Only undefeated team at this point. I say we were going to talk about them, but the media said it was a game of the week, so now we got to talk about them. June. I don't know. I don't know. First time that we're 6-0, and I don't know how many years. Last night we were 5-0. We didn't really go too well for the Chiefs in the postseason. But this defense, like we were saying, is looking top notch, outstanding. Spags is coaching out of his mind, and these players are playing way over their heads. June, what were some of the takeaways you took from this game at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara this afternoon?
I mean, like we just spoke about that defense, man. We looked at this San Francisco offense who started the game with George Kittle, Debo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk. I don't think they all three ended the game healthy. However, Brock Purdy, man, you know how I feel about him. I like Brock Purdy, and I think he's a good quarterback, and I think that he's not a product of his environment. I don't think that he's just a system guy. I think that he's good. He, for the last couple weeks, have shown me otherwise, and it's starting to lead me to believe that this team is just losing their fire of what they had for the last few years. Kyle Shanahan is getting outcoached week after week. We're seeing Brock Purdy miss throws and turn the ball over, and then Christian McCaffrey going down is like the biggest disappointment all season for me as far as when I watch the 49ers because he brings such a dynamic element to their game that it's not just having a good run game. It's having a guy that understands how to run the ball, and it's so hard to tackle him. I mean,
and also too, like those runs that Mason has for six, those are 8 yard, 9 yard runs for McCaffrey.
yeah, it's
So
just
like
that
you have
much
to look at it
more
that way. So
for him.
right, and my thing with San Francisco is I feel as if I got a question for y'all. Y'all think that teams have figured out Kyle Shanahan?
I think that, like I said, Christian McCaffrey makes all the difference in what their game plan is because Jordan Mason, with respects to his game, is not Christian McCaffrey.
Right, he's not.
And we're talking about like a top five player in the game, top three offensive player in the game. Madden cover boy, it's not just replace him. It's not, and so I do give a little like leeway, if you will, for Coach Shanahan because I mean, bro, you come into the season expecting to have the leading rusher, the guy who's going to have all the touches in the world. But AB and Le'Veon on CTSPN, they talked about this where it's like, yeah, he's going to be hurt. I mean, the man touches the ball more than any NFL player in the game. Every fucking possession, he's getting, at least 10
And
touches
he's
if
in
they're running 12 plays.
Yeah.
and he's in pass protection. He's a cheat.
He's getting beat up.
Right, and I think too, especially with the new era of running backs now, I just think that now you gotta have four. I feel it. You have to have four.
You need the depth in the running back room for sure.
Yeah, like I think like back then. Remember, back then it used to be three. You gotta have three. Now I think it's four.
Yeah, I just think depth in the NFL has become so much more important at all positions. I mean, you look at D linemen, it's like you're at 9, and some of them want to carry 10 because it's like you need to get to the quarterback, especially in the fourth quarter. And guys are gassed. It's tough to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, and I think too, even with schemes too, even with defenses too, I feel as if like there's no true outside linebacker anymore too, because you got to put a nickel out there because the slot receiver now, your best receivers now is your slot guy.
Yeah.
So it's like got to play a nickel out there. So I just think shout out the Chiefs for exploiting that too. The Chiefs were one of the first teams to do that shit. They just put a nickel out there. They didn't care about a linebacker. It's like, nah, we'll play four corners all fucking game. So I just think that some teams, especially defensively, especially like the Niners, I think they're losing their edge because I think now the offense isn't clicking. Like I feel like teams are figuring out Shanahan now. I feel like even with them losing Debo for a little bit, them losing Ayuk for a little while.
For sure.
I don't think that San Fran is gonna get in their groove as of now. But that's why I don't think they're the best team in the NFC right now.
Oh, they're for sure not. I mean, it's like I said, it's Minnesota and Detroit. And you can put 1A, 1B, you can label one of them better than the other, but it's certainly Minnesota and Detroit as the cream of the crop in the NFC. And a lot of this is about the 49ers, but I think a lot of it or more of it should just go to the credit for the Chiefs. I mean, figuring out a way to win whenever you can, however you can, and week in, week out, whatever the game plan is. I mean, Spags has got it dialed up, Andy Reid's got it dialed up, and the players are bought in. Whatever they need them to do, they're figuring out what they have to do. You guys are down a lot of, key targets on offense. And it doesn't seem to matter. Kelsey's having more of a down year than we've seen.
He might be
on his way out of there, especially.
I don't want to use the W word, man, but
washed.
He might be washed.
Let me say this real quick. I just want to give you an update. Little update. How good has Tommy Edman been for this Dodgers team? 2-run home run, put them up.
Man.
I mean, you can't pitch to any of these guys. And that's why I'm not mad at the Mets for walking as many guys as they have, because you can't put it in the strike zone all the time. Sometimes you just got to make them chase. And the Dodgers are the best team in the league at not chasing pitches. This is the equation you get. You got to throw it over the zone. They know it's coming, and it's gone. I mean, you got guys like Kike Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez, Tommy Edman doing things that Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie Freeman, do as well. And so I'm not hating. My uncle's like, yo, you hating on the Mets. Bro, the Dodgers are this good. They're just this good. And the Yankees, we're not here to talk baseball, but the Yankees are going to soon realize this shit ain't no joke. This shit is not no joke. This shit is not no joke.
Fair.
You know what? I'm
Congrats on getting to the World Series, though, boys. That was
listen. It was expected. That's why I'm not even. That's why I'm not.
Like it's expected for you guys to get to the World Series. I mean, yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
We should have been there 2017.
Actually expected for you guys to
been
win.
there 2019. We should have been there. It should have been there 2020. It's been it's long overdue. That's why I'm saying, give Soto $800 million. That's why I
$800 million is very reasonable for a young man by the name of Juan Soto.
He's only 25.
Matter of fact, fire Cash and give him Cash's salary while you're at it.
Hal said success and winning. That was like his daddy. his dad, Kelsey's dad came out real
I don't
quick.
want to get too, like you said, I don't want to get too into
He might
baseball,
be
but
getting that bag.
I ain't never seen a man more relieved to keep his job than Brian Cashman in a
Yo,
fucking gray sweater
you
and
saw him getting the
sweats.
thing just like this, like yo.
Because he knows what's next for him, and that's being upgraded to promoted to a fan. You heard? Fuck
Yo,
out of here, bro.
but listen, hey,
Hey, we got a doubleheader tomorrow night and Monday Night Football that we will definitely review tomorrow evening on tomorrow's episode. But real quick, gentlemen, Ravens Bucks at Buccaneers tomorrow. Baltimore's 3.5 point favorite on the road. Books are saying that they are about a touchdown better than the Buccaneers. June, is that accurate?
They are,
I
but
believe
I
Vegas.
wouldn't bet on this game. Baker Mayfield, you never know what you're gonna
The
get out of
Bake
Baker Mayfield.
Show.
I mean, put it like this: Baker Mayfield. I spent time talking about him last week, so I'm not gonna do that again. And it was to the highest regards because of where he's come from and what he's been able to do and how stupid Cleveland is as a franchise to have to deal with what they dealt with today, and how horrible are the fans in Cleveland. Let me say this for saying you deserve it when a man, no matter the case, tears his Achilles. The man that
Or a
this
number
same
of cases.
franchise, listen, we weren't cheering for him. We weren't cheering for him. They were cheering for him. They came to the games with signs saying, "Yeah, we love you."
Happy yo, I seen the happy endings T-shirt. I seen him.
But now, because his play has regressed and he sucks, you deserve it. You know, that's really wishy-washy, and it don't sit right by me. I mean, I'm just one
Yeah,
person.
no, that's real.
But
Shout out to Miles
now-
Garrett for addressing that as well.
Nah, yeah, and Jameis too, and
Facts.
Jameis hit him with
Pastor
the
James, man. I need him to pray for me one day. If I ever met him, I'm gonna tell James to pray for me. But back to Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Baker Mayfield, what he's been able to do with that offense is unlock levels that we didn't think that we was going to see from them post Tom Brady.
Or
and
him.
Tom Brady criticized Baker Mayfield for the comments Baker Mayfield made a few weeks ago for saying that, you know, he came in here and it's not as stressful anymore. It's a little more fun environment. They like me here. Brady's like, listen, bro, I ain't go there to have fun. I go there to win, and winning is stressful. That's what that was. Now we come 2 weeks later, Baker Mayfield throws for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, whatever he had, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, puts up 51 points on a divisional opponent. And Tom Brady's talking about this guy has the work ethic, the talent, the will, and the perseverance to be one of the greatest quarterbacks this game has ever seen. I mean, so, and he's not just saying that. Tom Brady don't just say that. He's saying it for a reason. This is a former #1 overall pick from 2018. He's
Facts.
finally gotten a good system, good coach around him, good players around him, people that believe in him. And this is what you could see. And that goes back to the point that Rio's made about Sam Darnold and giving him the pass for playing with Gase. I'm not going to give Jay Cutler, Jay Cocaine Cutler, the pass for playing with Gase. We're not doing that. But I do get your point as far as Gase. Baker Mayfield has a chance to upset at home. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Ravens are playing like the best team in football, and we're going to see Lamar Jackson show turn up in Tampa Bay. He's close to South Florida. He's going to feel right at home. What you got?
There it is.
I agree with Vegas. I agree with Vegas. I think the Ravens are going to win, but I do really fuck with the 3-headed monster that Tampa Bay has at running back, man. Yo,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Shout out Sean Tucker. Where he went to school, y'all. Exactly. Syracuse, you feel me? But
Irvin, White.
You feel me? But they got Rashad White, they got Bucky Irvin, who I think is the biggest fantasy football steal of the year so far, in my opinion. Well, out of the rookies, I think he's the best rookie so far in fantasy. But in terms of just Baker having to lean on that running game as well, along with those weapons you have on the outside. You have Godwin and you have Evans on the outside too. I feel as if the Bucks are a sneaky team in the NFC as well too. Like they're not nothing to sleep on. If you look at what they did to the Eagles last year in the playoffs too, that's something that I think that wasn't a fluke. I really think that wasn't a fluke. They that we've seen from them afterwards too, what they've done to other teams too. So I think that with the Raven, I think that with the Bucks, I think that they may lose, but it's gonna be close. But with the Ravens, I think, man, Derrick Henry, bro. Who? I mean,
Not Jerry Jones.
did I? I mean, listen.
Catching
From the
strays on your week off is crazy.
Fuck Jerry Jones.
perspective, we thought that Derrick was gonna thrive with Lamar, but I didn't think he would thrive like this, though, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean, he's 30. You know, he's 30,
Yeah.
31.
right, and 30, and we all know 30 at the age of running backs, right? That's when you fall off that cliff.
But he's on that LeBron James diet. He got that, $1 million body. And bro,
Also, too,
the man is at the best shape of his career. He's got 700 yards rushing,
right.
and
And
he
I
leads the
really
league.
think him getting hurt 2 years ago
Hmm.
saved him. I think him getting hurt 2 years ago saved him.
Interesting.
Because I mean, it's less weight. I mean, listen, at that time he got hurt, right? He had what, 12 rushing touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
About week 9, right? So like, and also too, if you look at the carries he was getting at that season too,
Yeah, he was a Christian
he was on
McCaffrey at
he
that
was
time.
on pace. He was gonna have one of them CTE running back seasons, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was looking like that for a little while for my boy. But I'm him getting that's what I'm saying. Him getting hurt was a blessing in disguise because it lessens the workload for him too. Also, too, like this is I think the least amount of carries he's had for the amount of touchdowns he's had this in his career.
Hmm.
So the correlation is there. So I mean, it's it's really amazing what the Ravens have done so far. But like I said, in the playoffs, right? It starts and it ends with Lamar. And until Lamar has done it in the postseason for me, I can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't.
That's a
That's
different conversation.
you. I know that's your man's,
that's a whole other
but
pod.
until he does it until he does it in that cold weather, bro.
That's a whole other joint right
I'm sorry,
there.
sorry,
uh,
Jew.
Hey, the other doubleheader that we have tomorrow night, Chargers are traveling to Arizona State Farm Stadium to play the Cardinals. Chargers on the road, 1.5 favorites. Vegas is saying that they are about 4.5 points better than the Cardinals. June, will the Chargers win and not fall to 500?
We're gonna have to see, bro. I mean, I don't got ESPN Plus, so I can't watch it. I don't know. This is an ESPN Plus exclusive game. I don't got the channel. I feel like a million Americans are gonna be upset by 8 o'clock tomorrow when they figure out their favorite team is playing and they don't got the money to pay
But
for
they
that
but they
shit.
put they
Or
put they put the Chargers don't charge the Chargers don't got a real fan base anyway, man.
that's true. That's true. That's true. All right, so we're good. I,
but
this one's good though. This one's gonna be a close, good game. Kyler Murray has played outstanding football, and then we've seen the Cardinals as a whole kind of just look like the old Cardinals. I don't know which one we're gonna get. If they can stop a run, because I know Harbaugh is gonna run that ball. He's gonna try to run that ball.
Yeah.
If they can find some success stopping that run and make some explosive plays, the Cardinals have a chance. But something's telling me to lean Chargers here. Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh have been doing pretty good this season, and so I'm expecting them to continue. Like the Chargers are probably one of the most disappointing teams of the last 5 to 6 years, and
Man, you already know how I feel about them.
yeah, so hopefully they come to show up tomorrow because they should win this game.
I thought
yeah,
they were going to win
Chargers
the AFC West a couple years ago.
yeah, the Chargers should win. I mean the Chargers should win this game. Like I said, I mean Justin Herbert, you feel me? The tape looks good. Like I said, yo, the tape looks good, bro, but there's something missing. I don't know what it is. I just think that he just doesn't have that pedigree.
Yeah. Yep. Gentlemen, from football to football, a lot of things also went down in the English Premier League. Arsenal falls to Bournemouth. barely a top 10 team beating a yeah.
Boo! We call that soccer. Sorry, E. That's soccer, bro.
Yo, go
Sundays
Chelsea.
for
Go Chelsea.
football. Take that shit somewhere else, unless you call it soccer.
Go
So what's
Chelsea,
going
man.
on in the
you,
soccer? What's going
you,
on in the soccer world?
soccer's been around longer than football, right?
Football, yo, word. Listen, bro.
Whatever y'all want to say
Yo,
about it.
yo, they
Sundays
still
are
get
for
CTE
football.
too, though. They still get CTE too, man.
Yeah. In
Hey,
America, we call it soccer.
that sounds
I'm
so
with some of that
crazy.
R shit. I'm kidding.
That is crazy. Um, yeah, Arsenal falls to Bournemouth. The teams that were supposed, for the most part, the teams that were supposed to win this weekend did win
They
their
won.
matches. Tottenham blew out West Ham 4-1. Man United, edged out Brentford at the crib. Brighton beat Newcastle, which is kind of surprising to me,
Yeah, that's
honestly.
fine. That's fine.
And then today we saw Liverpool beat Chelsea and Man City score and win 2-0 in a game that Holland did not play in.
Oh wow, he didn't play. Damn.
Champions League's coming up. They're probably resting him. They got the top
Yeah.
spot in the league. They're gonna be all right for the foreseeable future. Correction, number 2 in the table, right under Liverpool, who is number 1, but they are just 1 point away. I look forward to seeing that matchup in a couple of weeks. You guys got anything else you want to go over in the NFL world before
No,
we get
no,
up out of
no.
here?
Liberty, look, my Liberty about to get in the fourth quarter. The Mets is losing by 5, and the Jets is up. I'm trying to catch these games. I appreciate y'all talking to me, but I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Yo,
ladies.
peace. Yo, and Drew, we're gonna have that conversation about your you tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever you want, you know my number, bro.
I got
Ladies,
I got some
ladies
takes
and
for you.
gentlemen,
I
boys
I
and
want to go
girls,
down, but
children of all
11:30
ages,
we gonna see Kyle McCord lighting y'all up.
as we cross over this hour 21 mark, this has been your Sunday evening NFL Talk, NFL Sunday All Things Sports podcast. If you're tuning on the live, thank you so much. If you're tuning in after the fact, we appreciate you. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you were wherever you are listening to us. Rios, appreciate you for tapping in and showing up
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
everything you
sir.
contributed to the pod today. And we will see you all tomorrow evening